Good afternoon. Man, we had a bevy of activity today. Had a couple of mandatory league sanctioned presentations this morning around gambling, domestic violence, and so forth. As a football team, we also talked about some things that are going on from a social justice perspective, or had continued conversations there. Like I've mentioned to you guys several times during the course of this, we desire to have an impact and more so than statements. And we want to be proactive in our behavior and our thoughts. And so we had continued conversations, not necessarily in reaction to the most recent events that have transpired. I continue to appreciate the hearts and spirit of our players in terms of wanting to participate and engage in a positive way and express themselves. That is their right. Like I've said many times, they'll continue to be supported by us as long as their efforts are done so thoughtfully and with class. And so I'm excited about continuing to grow in that area, as is our football team, and have an understanding of our platform and utilize it in a very positive and constructive way, but also understand that we're targets and our perspectives and our opinions can be weaponized for agendas or against us. And so we want to move forward thoughtfully with everything that we do. Like we've mentioned, we're excited about being parts of solutions if we can be, if our blessings allow us to be, if the platform that we have allows us to be. From a football standpoint, continuing to work, we had a couple of guys miss time today. Eric Ebron was out with illness. Anthony McFarland is being examined for a potential concussion. He's in the protocol. I don't know what that means. Obviously, we'll update you guys as we get pertinent information. Several guys were out. They continue to be listed as day-to-day. Ryan Switzer among them, Kareth White among them. Other guys that are continuing to work in a limited capacity that have been described as day-to-day, but are working their way back to us: Wormley and Smallwood and Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kevin Dotson, and others. It's just the dog days of summer. That's how it is. We were able to get some quality work done. Had some live special teams periods today, looking at kickoff return and kickoff coverage. We'll continue to infuse live elements of special teams play into our prep because it is an awesome means of evaluation and an awesome opportunity for our guys to show what they're capable of in that area, and it aids in the evaluation process. Be happy to address any questions you guys might have.
First question, Jerry Dulac. Jerry, go ahead.
Hi, Mike. Did you want to use today and tomorrow, like as some, get the players accustomed to some not only pregame but day game prep? And also the second part, just real quickly, did you give any consideration to not practicing, maybe like some other NFL teams did today?
We didn't give any real consideration to not practicing today. In regards to what we're doing with today and tomorrow, we're just leaning in on this process. We realize that there's some growth that has to happen. We have to get these guys ready for football circumstances and situations, the fluidity that happens in game that's really controlled in a practice setting. So, we're opening them up to more down and distance football, more movement of the ball, more fluidity that's football-like, as opposed to some of the scripted things we've done. And we'll just continue to grow in that area because it's appropriate as we get ready for opening week.
Next one, Dale Lawley. Dale, go ahead.
Mike, you mentioned the live special teams stuff that you've been doing. It's live, but is it game type? I mean, when I'm saying, are you seeing that kind of intensity out of those situations?
There's different types of intensity. Those of us that are in this space and industry understand it. There's preseason intensity. There's regular season intensity. There's playoff intensity. I'm satisfied with the level of intensity that I'm seeing in the work, but I'm not going to pretend that it's going to mirror what they're going to get on Monday night, because that's just not an accurate statement. The volume will be turned up on Monday night on opening weekend, and that's just the reality of our game and our sport.
Next up, Brooke Pryor. Brooke, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, you said that you guys want to take thoughtful actions when you're deciding what to do and do more than just make statements. What do some of those actions look like?
They've been ongoing. We're active participants in voter registration. with the building relationships with our law enforcement locally. We have and continue to. We're just engaging with our community, man, and trying to find ways to create conversation, to utilize the platform that we have in a very positive way. And those are just some of the many things that we have ongoing. We have social justice committees where guys get an opportunity to sign up and participate in areas that are personal passions of theirs. And so that's what we're trying to do as an organization. We're trying to find or trying to provide a suite of services that are in line with the individual and collective passions of our men to aid them in the process of being positive contributors to what's going on from a societal standpoint.
Aditi, you're up next. Go ahead.
Coach Tomlin, last night, Chase Claypool shared a very significant message from his dad, essentially warning him to please not speed, please be careful, watch out for cops because they could kill you. As a father of two sons yourself, can you share it all? What are some of the conversations that you have with them and with all these young men on your team, who some of whom clearly are hurting right now about the country? What do you share with them? How do you
Aditi, respectfully, that's my personal business, and I choose not to share it. Conversations that I have between myself and my sons regarding how I raised them and what's appropriate behavior.
Next up, Chris Adamski. Chris, go ahead.
Mike, you're down to 4 inside linebackers. Is that a sign that you swapped essentially an inside one for an outside, that you're set at that position? And then
no, man. No, we're far from it. We're just, we're continuing to expose ourselves to new people and expand the potential of others. We've played Marcus Allen some at linebacker. He's a guy that's shown some position flexibility. He's playing strong safety and some inside linebacker. So that really kind of fortifies our depth in that area when from a perception standpoint, we might be running thin.
Noah, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, to stick with Marcus Allen playing at inside linebacker today, have you seen anything from him this camp that gives you guys some comfortability with him playing that position?
I have, and it goes beyond just specifically that position. I think he's just he's shown understanding in terms of how he's communicating, whether it's at linebacker or safety. His pre-snap communication skills, the way that he adjusts, shows growth and development in terms of our overall scheme, and that allows him to display the position flexibility. Marcus has always had the physical skills to do both jobs, but intellectual skills, the overall understanding of the big picture allows those things and those skills to come out in a football way now.
Brian Batko, you're next. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, has Derek Watt been limited at all? Randy mentioned something this morning about him only kind of doing individual type drills right now, and you guys trying to get him back into full participation. Yeah,
our target is opening weekend for him, and so we've been thoughtful about his process. He's a guy that's coming off of a surgery. He's getting in-helmet perspective on work every day. He's in uniform. We're just limiting some of the things that he does in an effort to make sure that we get that daily exposure to the process. And so we're thoughtfully revving up his participation, and it's going to increase as the days go by.
Alan Saunders, go ahead.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the 2 transactions this morning, what you liked about bringing Jaron Elliott back, and why the situation at long snapper precipitated making a move.
Cam candidate has an injury that can be described as day-to-day. We wanted to continue with our intense special teams work, so we brought someone else in that was capable. It's an opportunity for us to get some exposure there and see what his skill set is. We're really impressed with him in the workout, and so we're excited about having him on board and having him put his hand in the pile and see where that leads us. And the other part of your question is, I'm sorry?
Jaron Elliott.
Oh, we've got some experience with Jaron. Jaron's been around us and been able to put his hand in the pile in the past. He was available. We brought him in and check his overall readiness to see if he could be a part of our process here in 2020.